Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video I'm going to be using the Planners Anonymous DreamChaser kit to make a shaker element for my planner, but it's a different kind of shaker element. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, I know this video is a couple of days late. There's a really good reason for that. I had gastro at the back end of last week and I was horribly sick. I didn't get out of the house. I didn't leave the bed basically for 5 days. So please forgive me for this one being a little bit late, and I hope you enjoyed the other video that I put up in the meantime so that I had time to get this one done. So this is going to be my DreamChaser project that's going to go with my DreamChaser decoration. Now, had this gone up, had I made it so it was ready to go up on Wednesday like it was supposed to, you know, it would have been a whole week of me being able to absolutely enjoy it sitting right here. As it stands, it's not going to get to do that so much, so we're going to change. It will be to sit in the planner if you want it to sit in the planner, but I'm going to make it so that this little element can move around. So, I'm grabbing the die cuts. I also have no idea if this is going to work. This is a highly experimental, first time I've ever done this, please don't kill me if it doesn't work kind of one. So I'm grabbing the die cuts and I'm looking for the little one that is the jar. And I know I have it somewhere, but I don't know if I took it out and left it out so that I didn't lose it, which I do that quite, there it is, I told you. I do that quite often. I take things out of containers and put them into containers so that I don't lose them, and then in doing so I lose them. I'm pretty sure every woman does that. I don't think it's just me. So let's put these other ones away really quickly. And this is going to be the basis of our little shaker. And this is a shaker with a difference. This is going to be a shaker that is a bit more water-based. And that's very scary. So, one thing you are going to need for this that you will never need, or you won't need for a lot of others, is you need a Ziploc bag of some kind. So this is just a little one that came with some packaging. You can buy these from like $2 shops or cheap stores or everything. Just keep your eye out, you'll see them. And you'll probably have 50 bazillion sitting around your house anyway. You just need one that's going to cover this off, and you need one that's going to be big enough to cover the sort of rough area of what I want to do. This one's actually a lot longer than I wish it was, so I'm hoping that we can do some clever things to try and hide this, but this is where I'm not quite sure if this is going to work. But things in the meantime, I've got my little mat here because I'm going to cut this out. So the Planners Anonymous die cuts all have sticky back, so we will take advantage of that later, but for now I want to cut straight through it. So my idea here is I want to cut out everywhere where there is liquid in the photo, because we're going to replace that with real liquid in the actual kind of shaker. So it's going to give me enough to be able to put some foam around it and really lift it, and then we can put some water in here. I'm still debating if I want to have it so you can sort of move it around a bit. I don't know yet, but we'll start with just this bit. So I'm just using my craft knife and I'm going to shush because I can't cut and talk, and I'm just following the line of the liquid here. This is where I'm not sure how I do this. So I think what I want to do is see the water first. So I'm going to do a couple of odd little things here. I have myself a little little lid where I can mix some water in. And I've also got just some water. This is just plain water from the tap. I just put it into a bottle. And I'm just going to pour a bunch in here. I'm actually going to have to take some out. That's a bit much. Sorry. I have lots of little lids sitting all over the place. And then I've got a little pipette here, which is actually probably one of the worst ones I've ever had. But, you know, does the job, kinda. Doesn't matter if I make a mess. And what I want to do is I want to put some colour into this. Now, I don't have alcohol inks. I do. I've obviously got Copics, but I don't have alcohol inks that I can drop. So what I'm going to have to kind of do is pick up my ink. So I used Villainous Potion a little bit the other week when I did the background there. So I'm putting a bunch of the ink down on the thing, and I'm just going to mix it. And I'm going to basically try and suck it up. Yeah, that worked better than I thought it would. Is it ideal? No. Will it work? Yes. Sometimes you just need to be a bit clever. And I'm just mixing that until I'm happy with the colour. I love the way that this ink reacts with water. And I know it's the point of Distress inks and Distress oxides and stuff, but it just looks so pretty in water. It's half the reason I want to try alcohol inks, but I'm not going to. Because alcohol inks look this way without water. Okay, I think that's dark enough. And then the other thing I want to try, and this is why I'm going to do this cheeky little thing, which is put some of this water back, is I want to see what it looks like with a bit of glitter in it. So I'm just grabbing, I need a better one than that. This is my glass one that I love, that I use for everything, but it's only little. It doesn't pick up as much. Anyway, I'm just going to try putting a little bit of glitter in here. So this is just, it's actually just iridescent glitter that I got from the cheap shop. It's not fancy stuff, which is why I don't mind if I waste it. I'm just putting it in there. And I'm just grabbing a paintbrush and just using the bottom of it. And I'm just mixing it through the water. Most of it's just floating. Okay. And I'm just looking at it to see what I think. I don't know. I feel like maybe just the water would be fine. But this is my last little tester of a thing. I'm just picking up a little bit of it, putting it down on... Oh, no, that actually looks really cool. When it's spread out, it actually looks cool. Okay, right, we'll do it that way then. So I'm keeping this one, not this one, but I can add more if I need more. And we're just going to put this into the little baggie. So this is where you need more of the ways to pick up water. You can pour this in, but I would suggest using a dropper of some kind because you can just control it a little bit better. So the idea here is not to fill it to an insane level. We don't need it to be full. We just need it to be shaky. I don't know if that makes sense. So you can see there you can kind of push on it. Bad with the thing. Where's the... I need a cloth so I can clean this up and show you because you need to be able to see it on the white. So you've just got enough there that you can kind of push on it. So I think it needs a bit more. That glitter was a good choice. I'm very happy with the glitter choice. This is also a good way to test that your bag's solid, not going to drip. Because obviously we don't want any kind of... Well, if we can avoid having liquid anywhere near our planners, that's what we're going to do. So just give it a couple of squeezes. Make sure you're confident with it, because if you're not, you can just put glitter in here. You don't have to put water. Okay, I'm going to try that. Now I'm sealing that up and I'm pushing that really tight. And I'm just going to try pushing it up. There's enough air in there. Now that is dripping just a little, which makes me nervous. I had tested this pre-filming to see that it wouldn't do that. But I was squeezing. Actually, hold on. I'm going to do one thing. So I keep paper towel in here for obvious reasons. I'm just going to put this bit of paper towel just in the top bit of the bag. I'm actually going to cut this top bit because there's a lot of it after the fact, once we've got it in place and everything. But I'm just drying it off so that there's no moisture on the top, and that way I'll be able to see really easily if there's any water escaping, which there is. The water is only escaping when I'm squeezing, and if I'm not squeezing, it's actually fine. So I'm willing to run a little bit of a risk here, and we'll just see how we go. The part of this that is difficult, and the reason that I am going to leave it so that it doesn't... I'm trying to get my words right here so I don't under-explain this. So that I don't cut this bit out as well, is because I need to hide this bit a little, and this is where I'm going to be able to roll it a little to hide it behind my little bit. I hope that makes sense. It'll all make sense as I do it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense when I try to explain it. Anyway, let's just keep doing it and see what happens. So I do need to put this up a little bit. So like I said, this needs to come up and we need to do some sticking. So I'm going to take off the sticky back of the die cut. I'm just going to take off just the edges here. The rest of it can actually stay for a little bit. And then we're just going to work out how this is going to stick down, because it's not a completely perfect V shape. It's close, but it isn't completely perfect. But if I can adjust here and just sort of pop it down, we may be able to hide some of the imperfections along the way. So I reckon that's the money shot. That's where we're going to get the most amount of bang for buck here. So I'm pushing this down into the adhesion, and then once that's down, it's just a matter of then folding this over and you can kind of hide the rest of it. So there's a bit, I think there's a bit too much air in here. So I am going to crack her open just to let some of that air out. So I'm trying to push the air here, not the water, which is difficult to do, but here we go, that's better. And I'm going to grab my scissors. And like I said, I'm just going to trim down a little bit of this top because you don't really need it. And now that we're not going to open it again, I think we should be okay. So this little bit here is going to get folded up and stuck down. And I can do that with a bit of washi. No, you don't have to use the washi from the kit, but you know, it's here. I'm just moving that over, just manipulating it into place. Doesn't matter if you can see a little bit. It'll all get hidden behind here in a minute. And then we fold this bit down, and that'll hold the rest of it in place. Now I will, in a second, take the backing piece off so it'll all stick. And then all we need to do is just put it onto a backer. But I'm just keeping it in place for a minute so I can have a look at it and see if it does what I want it to do. Now, I probably filled it up just a little bit too much. But it does do what I want it to do. I can see the glitter in there. And then the only other thing I need to choose whether I want to do is if I want to put that backing back on it or back behind it so that it kind of looks cool. That actually is really cool. I'm happier with that than I thought I would be. And yes, I will put it back on. Alright, so I'm happy with that. So we're going to take this little bit off and stick it all down. So again, just removing this little bit. There is, I can see a little bit of water here. I'm going with it. I'm going to risk that it's just a tinsy tiny little drop. And you guys will find out first if I've stuffed it up, because I'll tell you. I will never, ever, ever tell you that I've done something when I haven't. So if I've messed this up, you'll know. So I'm putting that little fold thing there. That little fold thing there. Alright. That's stuck down. And then we can use a bit more. Can I reinforce that? There's a little bit just sitting out the side and I'm not brave enough to cut it. So I'm just going to leave it. I love that when you shake it you can see the water and you can feel the water. It's very cool. It will annoy me though. I can feel it annoying me already. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Alright. You can don't attack it with a pair of tweezers, Ashley. What are you doing? Attacking it with a pair of tweezers. I'm just trying to fold this corner under, as ridiculous as that sounds. And then I won't see it. And it'll get stuck on the sticky and you won't see it. Okay, cool. So the bulk of this is going to come because I'm hiding this. If I didn't have that, if it was just a slightly smaller bag, I feel like this would be much easier. I just couldn't find one. So I'm going to have to put some bulk here. But I think as overall, it's going to be okay. So I'm going to grab one of the bits of cardstock here. Which one shall I use? You're not actually going to see it. That's the part that's sad. So let's use, it doesn't really matter. Let's use a bit that I've already used so that I don't waste more beautiful paper. So I'm just going to put this down onto my thing. I probably should have traced this first, but I was too impatient. What you could do, so what I want to do, I want that to sit just there. That's sort of this, you guys can't see that. I want it to sit sort of just here. That's my sort of, my thinking of it. Damn, it's going to be a bit, no, it'll be fine. Because it can have a little bit of push down. I'm just seeing if there's anything I can do about this bulk, because it's just annoying me. I can't cut it, because then the water will come flowing out the top. And I can't make it any smaller. So no, this is just what it has to be. It's fine. Sometimes you just have to work with what you've got. I'm just trying to make it as even as I can so that there's not too much bulk. And the good thing is I can't feel any more moisture on there, so I think that that's okay. And I can't see any from this side, so righto. I'm going to trace it this way because then it's a bit more correct. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen me do this before, but when I'm tracing things, I'm going to trace that way. I always try and find a straight edge somewhere, if I can, which I can't here, but that's okay. And that way at least I've got an edge that is right. I don't have to trim around it, but I don't actually have one here, so we'll just go with what we've got. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. This actually needs to be smaller in the end anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Go ahead and cut this, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. So then what we need to do is we need to get rid of just a little bit of this sticky at the top. So just a bit of powder on there solves that problem. I've also been rubbing my hand across this all the time trying to make sure if any water's coming out, and I can't find any. There was a couple of drops sort of as I was going, but most of them have dissipated since I sort of started playing around with it, so I think I'm okay. So I'm grabbing some foam tape. I'm still going to have to cut this in half, so in fact I'm going to use one of this one because it's taller. So this is Express It foam tape. I think this is the 5mm. I'm still going to have to cut this into... Oh, actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to use my really thin foam strips from Uniquely Creative because these will work much, much better because they are already very, very thin. So what we need to do is just put these around the outside of our heart like we would with any other shaker. And I love that these are so easily manipulated, and I can basically go straight to there. How good's that? And you don't have to worry about sort of anything getting stuck to it because obviously what we want to shape is already in there, so it's all good. But this is where we can then grab a little bit, so if there's a little bit of this baggy sort of sitting out, we can pull it back in. Where's my tweezers? And so you use the tape to hide it or to stick it so it won't pop out the edge. Only thing you need to do here is make sure that you don't get your tweezers anywhere near that bag, because think of the bag like a water bed. And for people who don't know what that is, yes, that's a bed made out of water. You don't want to put anything sharp anywhere near it. Anywhere near it at all. That would be bad. And then I'm just going to use this leftover stuff to bulk out this top. I think this will be high enough. I hope this will be high enough. And then I can use a couple of the squares at the top here so I don't have to use more of the strips. I feel like this is going to be a lot of work for something very small, but I know I've done it in the past and nobody's minded, so I'm hoping you don't mind again. Still just a little bit more bulky than I wanted. I wanted it to sit flat, and I don't think it's going to quite sit flat. It's going to sit close. think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. And you can still get that water thing when you shake it. You get the bubbles and everything. I just shouldn't have filled it quite so much. This is my last opportunity to do this. No, I'm not. I was just sort of thinking I'll just grab a little bit out, but I'm not going to, because I feel like if I open it, I'm going to cause problems, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just giving it a last little wipe off to get rid of any possible moisture that's here. I think if you wanted to be really smart, you could put like a little paper towel and it would do that. Damn, I've got a leak. I don't know how I've got a leak, but I've got a leak. Because I just put it down in that towel just completely. And right now my worry is not, can I save the bag? Because I can always get another bag, but can I save the die cut? My waterbed got a leak. Yes, I realise there are much easier and simpler ways to do a shaker, but where's the fun if you don't try things? So I actually think it's the glitter. I think it's the glitter that's causing just these little micro leaks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it anyway, because you know, I'm going to put a little bit of paper towel up in here and shut this down the way that I was going to. So I'm just using the tape and everything else. It's going to pick up any of those little micro leaks. It's not giving out enough water for me to worry about, to be deadly honest. And I'm happy to risk it. I'm risking it for the biscuit here because it looks awesome. Alright, last thing we need to do before we put all of this together is put our little backing part on it, which I've now lost. There it is. So the hardest part about that is I've got to try and line it up. And we all know that my lining up skills are not that great. So what I'm going to do is put this down over the top of where I want it in my die cut or in the shaker. Guarantee this is not going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. So maneuvering it into place easily, gently. I'm going to pop that down, line it up, pop it down. It just needs to pick up enough for me to get the gist. And then I hope when I stick it all down, so we'll take these little edges off first. Shaker trick that I learnt, so you've got some time to kind of position things. I take them off some of the places, but not all of the places. And then you can kind of use this bottom bit to line it up and then pull the tape as you come up. Yeah, it's not completely perfectly lined up there, but it'll be fine. So then you pull this bit and it'll release that last little bit of tape. You can push it all down. Same thing over this side. There's something about water. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. Now, there's a little bit of foam tape, which I kind of knew. I was trying to squish it in before and I couldn't, so I'm just going to leave it because I feel like if I try and cut it and try and make it go away, it's just not going to work. So there we go. There's our little watery shaker element. You can tell me whether that was worth all the trouble. I don't know. I'll decide. But then, like I said, in an ideal world, it would have happily lived here for a week and would have just looked really cool. It can still do that because I can put this in with some removable double-sided tape so that it can happily sit there, and then at the end of the week I can pull this out. But you could do something very, very simple and make this into a card. So all I did here, I love this so much. I just put this is just a piece of the paper. I cut it down to be the same size as a card front. This is actually washi tape. I couldn't find any holographic paper in my office. It doesn't mean it's not here, it just means I can't find it. And then I'm just going to add, this is some twine from Hobby Hoppers. It's just hemp twine. It's got this blue purple shift to it with then some silver iridescent kind of sparkles in it. I can't remember what it's called. I will link it down below though. I do know that it is, I'm pretty sure it's currently on special and you get plenty of it. I also got a rainbow one that I absolutely adore. I think this one's called Mermaid, but the rainbow one is also very, very lovely. And I'm going to cut this into quarters of about how much I cut it. Times like this I wish I had the extra set of hands. But the extra set of hands at the moment is actually looking after the baby, so I will not ask him to come in and help. And then you could either leave it. I'm going to do mine in a bow, but you don't have to. But because it's got all these gorgeous colours in it, I love layering up the amount of string here. So it feels like it's a really big, substantial bow, and it kind of feels like it's taking over. But at the same time, it just looks so lovely with all those colours. And then you could put that in there with a little bit of temporary tape. And when I say temporary tape, my glue tape will do fine. But if you wanted to use like a Velcro spot or something like that, so you could push it in, you could do that. I'm just pushing that in so gently, it's sticking without a problem. That would also then stick perfectly in my planner the exact same way. It's adding a bit of bulk, but how good does that look? And then just a simple sentiment on the bottom. I have a feeling that my frame's not straight. Actually, I don't have a feeling. I know my frame's not straight. But it doesn't take away as much as I think it should. I love that frame. But that cute, it's just something different. We think we're so, oh, that one came undone. Hold on. I'm just trying not to put too much glue wherever there's water because I don't want to squeeze in case something comes popping out the top. There we go. So you can kind of see the water movement in there. You definitely see the bubbles come up. But like I said, it's just something different. It's something that's not a shaker like we would normally do. It's a special kind of shaker. It's something different, and it just works so beautifully with this Stardust bottle. It was just, I couldn't resist it. I just couldn't. Shakers would also work if you didn't want to go to all the worry of having water anywhere near your planner. I completely understand that thought. This would work just as well with just a piece of acetate, put some stars, put some glitter, ding dong, you've got yourself an absolutely beautiful shaker. But I wanted to try something different. I hope you guys enjoyed this slight experiment into adding water to our planner. Oh my god, please, I will let you know if it explodes. I'm pretty confident it's got that little bit of water thing to pick it up. It was a tiny little drip. I'm pretty confident, but I will let you know. Stay tuned on my Instagram for the post that goes, damn. But hopefully it doesn't come. If you guys did enjoy this one, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know if you'd like to see more kind of experimenty videos where I just don't know if something's going to work, but I feel like I want to try. I have a couple of mixed media ideas that I want to try, which is slightly different, and some different kind of projects along those lines. So if you're interested, let me know, and I can sort them out. I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome rest of your day. Thank you for being patient while this video went up, and I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!